This is your WCFW Daily News Roundup for 105.7 CFW in Chippewa Falls and 93.5 The Tap in Eau Claire.
For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly. A power outage on Wednesday caused some traffic issues around a well-traveled corridor in Eau Claire. According to city officials, the power outage knocked out a number of the traffic lights along Gulf Road. The affected area included Gateway Drive to near the entrance of the Oakwood Mall, forcing morning commuters to treat the busy intersections as if they had all-way stop signs. City of Eau Claire crews spent a few hours working on repairs and were able to fully restore power to the area around midday on Wednesday. The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled against an attempt to gain access to the state's voter rolls this week. The lawsuit was filed by a conservative activism group in 2022, alleging that the number of ineligible voters did not match the state's voter registration list in the 2020 election. The group sought to obtain the guardianship records of voters in the state. In the 5-2 decision announced on Tuesday, the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that those voter records are not public, and providing that information would be a violation of privacy rights. Royal Credit Union has announced the launch of a new small business grant program in the Chippewa Valley. Through the new program, Royal Credit Union will award a $3,000 grant to one local small business to help them get on their feet. Eligible businesses must be located in either Chippewa, Eau Claire, Dunn, Clark, Trumbull, or Taylor County and can be in their pre-launch phase, a new startup, or a small business established within the last 3 years. More information and the application is available on the Royal Credit Union website. A pedestrian was killed after being hit by a commercial truck at an intersection in Altoona on Wednesday morning. According to the Altoona Police Department, the crash occurred at around 5 a.m. on Wednesday at the intersection of Sawgrass Place and St. Andrews Drive. First responders attempted life-saving measures when they arrived, but the pedestrian was pronounced deceased at the scene. The driver of the commercial truck was also cited for failing to yield to a pedestrian at an uncontrolled intersection and failure to yield at a stop sign, resulting in death. For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly.
For Civic Media News, I'm Connie Fellman. In breaking news today, former Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan is spared from prison for helping an immigrant evade federal agents. A federal judge issued a $5,000 fine in court today, but no prison sentence. Dugan was convicted of felony obstruction last December for ushering a Mexican defendant out of her courtroom to evade ICE agents. The judge cited Dugan's otherwise law-abiding record in issuing the sentence, calling Dugan a good person who made a bad decision in the moment. Prosecutors said after the sentencing they would still appeal Dugan's conviction. Wisconsin State Patrol officers are reminding drivers to keep right if you're going slower. Civic Media's Maddie Schaefer has more on the Law of the Month.
The Wisconsin State Patrol's Law of the Month for July reminds drivers that slower traffic should keep right on interstates and other multi-lane highways. According to a press release, officials say the reminder is meant to help keep traffic moving safely and efficiently while reducing the risk of tailgating and rear-end crashes. Under Wisconsin law, drivers traveling slower than the normal speed of traffic should use the right lane when multiple lanes are traveling in the same direction, except when passing another vehicle, preparing for a left turn, or making an authorized U-turn. Wisconsin State Patrol Superintendent Tim Carnahan says lingering in the left lane can lead to crashes and dangerous situations on the road. The State Patrol also reminds drivers to follow Wisconsin's Move Over law by changing lanes or slowing down for emergency vehicles, highway workers, and certain disabled vehicles with flashing lights along the roadside. For Civic Media News, I'm Maddie Schaefer.
Officers also say keep an eye on posted speed limits in work zones. And don't forget to check 511 Wisconsin for current travel conditions. A shakeup in Wisconsin's governor race as Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley drops out and backs Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. Crowley says he's stepping aside after struggling to build enough support, even though he led in fundraising early on. His endorsement of Rodriguez could shift the race, especially among Milwaukee voters. Some expected him to support fellow Milwaukee native Mandela Barnes, who's also running. The field now has 5 candidates, with polling showing a tight and competitive contest. Go deeper on the new endorsement on the Milwaukee Courier website. Farmers in Wisconsin could soon have more control over fixing their own equipment after a major settlement with John Deere. State and federal officials say the agreement will require Deere to share repair tools and software with farmers and independent shops, not just dealerships. The lawsuit claimed Deere's limits led to higher costs and delays during critical times. Attorney General Josh Kaul says this gives farmers more options when equipment breaks down. The deal will be monitored for the next 10 years. A mechanical failure at the Beloit Dam is behind decreasing water levels in the Rock River. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the issue caused the dam's gates to open unexpectedly on Saturday, bringing down water levels between the Beloit Dam and the Centerway Dam in Janesville. The gates have since been closed, but there's no time frame for when water levels will return to normal. Boaters are still allowed on the river and are asked to use caution in case they venture on the water. A lawsuit over credit card debt involving Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong has now been resolved. Court records show the case from Capital One was dismissed after she paid about $30,000. Her campaign says she covered the debt with help from family and no campaign money was used. Hong says the issue reflects the financial struggles many people face and should not be seen as a moral failing. She continues to work multiple jobs while serving in the state assembly. Vice President J.D. Vance is talking about fraud in a campaign-style speech in Wisconsin. Vance spoke in Milwaukee yesterday, touting the Trump administration's crackdown on healthcare fraud and also infused plenty of politics.
The Democrats have thrown their lot in with the people who want to abolish the police, who want to open the border and want to give your money to fraudsters instead of moms who need it.
Vance has made similar appearances across the country, and his stop at the Wisconsin Air National Guard facility was very pointed at Democrats. He accused Democrats of supporting fraud, including Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, and pumped up the Trump-endorsed Republican running for governor, Congressman Tom Tiffany. Wisconsin holds its primaries on August 11th. 2 people are facing charges after nearly 250 grams of meth were seized during a traffic stop in Antigo. Antigo Police Department stopped a car for a motor vehicle violation on June 30th and deployed a canine for an open-air sniff of the vehicle. Officers found a plastic bag that contained 234 grams of meth, along with more than 33 grams of fentanyl. 2 men were taken into custody as a result of the investigation. A jury trial is scheduled for March 2027 for the father of an Abundant Life Christian school shooter. Prosecutors allege 44-year-old Jeffrey Ruppnow gave a dangerous weapon to a person under 18, resulting in deaths, and contributed to the delinquency of a minor. The charges stem from the 2024 school shooting that killed a student and a teacher before Ruppnow's teenage daughter took her own life. Ruppnow's motion to dismiss the case was denied in May, and a status conference is set for late September. Jury selection is set to begin March 8th, with the trial beginning the following day and lasting 9 days. The La Crosse Police Department is implementing drone-deployed personal flotation devices. The device can be carried by police, thrown from shore, or deployed directly from a department drone to a person in need. And that's your State News Update. I'm Connie Fellman for Civic Media News.
Another Brewer injury. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers lost to the Cardinals last night, 5-1. Pitcher Kyle Harrison lasted only 4 innings, giving up 3 runs. Pat Murphy says the left-hander is having soreness in his elbow.
He's fatigued. It's obvious he's fatigued, and we got to help him on that. You know what I mean? That's all there's to it. We got to help him. Could have left him in there, but we're thinking about his future, and felt a little soreness, and yeah, we're not going to mess with it.
Meanwhile, test results for Brandon Woodruff reveal he has a new injury in his right shoulder. The 33-year-old Woodruff will seek a second opinion. The Brewers wrapping up their 5-game series tonight in St. Louis. Logan Henderson back on the mound after missing the past 6 weeks with a lower back injury. NBA GM John Horst tells reporters the Bucks did not have to trade Giannis to the Miami Heat, that he still had another year left on his contract, but Horst says the deal they got is what's best for the team. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Mostly sunny today, our high right around 82 this afternoon. Tonight, it will be clear with a low dropping into the low 60s tomorrow. Lots of sunshine with a high in the low to mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it is 66.
That's your WCFW and the TAP Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WCFW.FM or thetap.fm.